Number 7. Modesty. An ethical person must be a modest one, not arrogant. Modesty means thinking of oneself as not being quite good enough. Arrogance means thinking of oneself as being talented enough. From the thinking of being not quite good enough, a modest person will have a very valuable emotion. That is the respect for others. On the other hand, the arrogant person always thinks of themselves as being good enough. A negative emotion will appear, which is to despise others. By respecting people, the modest person will have words, actions, and facial expressions that please everyone. In contrary, the arrogant person, in spite of trying restraining themselves, eventually shows their contempt for others and hatred of many. But not waiting for hatred from people. The brain of an arrogant person cannot suffer its own arrogance. The thoughts of praising himself and inwardly despising others affects the nerve in an adverse way. Many of the brain's functions will eventually disappear. An important function of the brain is to constrain the free thoughts which make us distressed. But high self-esteem will ruin this function, causing the brain to fall into unstoppable stress, headaches, bad memory, less concentration, and the whole body exhausted. Another important function of the brain is to constrain bad desires and make people live a dignified life. But arrogance has ruined this function, so that this person will be dominated by bad desires. This person suddenly desires more sex and have other cravings that surpass the limits of nature and social law. Once he has succumbed to the sin of sexual desire, his honor is lost. Another important function of the brain is the ability to learn and develop talent. But if an arrogant concept has killed this function, then this person becomes talentless. The concept of praising oneself and despising others have a lot of bad consequences for the brain. In addition, mental arrogance also causes bad luck. The arrogant one often falls into failure. Despite many efforts, everything will go wrong. On the other hand, a modest psychology raises the brain to new heights. The modest person will be more intelligent, will constrain a bad temper, and will get a peaceful mind. For the modest person, it will be easy to get success because of the law of karma. The modest person can also have a charming face too. He who has an arrogant psyche will be hard to change. He will keep his opinions, criticize everything, make everyone feel unpleasant, and ruin his own brain. Only if he realizes the danger of arrogance, and decides to change, then he can struggle to repair his defects. He should kneel down in front of any saint or god of his understanding, confess his mistakes, promise to leave his arrogance, and he asks for supporting from his saints or gods. He will promise to respect people, promise to recognize himself as not being good enough. He will do this every day. But in daily life, facing people, he could forget and let the arrogance appear again. It can be very difficult. It is very hard to change the psyche from arrogance to modesty. But we must change if we do not want to live in our personal hell. Once the change has occurred, modesty exists, and we recognize ourselves as not being good enough, then the first reward will come to us. That is, our heart is peaceful than before. Many good things then gradually come one by one.